Hello, I'm Erik. I've invited my friends Greg Talley and Ryan Smith to join me in ingesting fun and bizarre foods. We'd like you to join us too. So come in and open up. It's Junkmouth.
Hi, I'm Greg.
Hi, I'm Erik, and welcome to Junkmouth.
Wait, what's missing? There's something seems off.
It is off. It's not like it's almost like there's an empty chair in the room.
It's almost like an oppressive weight of darkness and evil has been lifted from the land.
I feel happy.
I feel like there's actually hope and progress and maybe things are worthwhile after all.
I think I know what it is.
What is it?
Ryan's sick.
Ryan is out sick. That's right.
Yeah.
And his little rain cloud of doom has left with him.
Well, you know what? We'll just have to be doomy and gloomy for him.
Okay, well, we'll do our best in the podcast to add in as much Ryan as possible.
All right. Well, you know what? We still have to welcome all our listeners here to the Roof Lizard Lounge, high atop the Dino Hotel in picturesque Lakewood, Colorado, above our restaurant Paleo Joe's and near the Rocky Mountains. So welcome everybody, and we're going to do an all-milk episode. Let's start off though, Greg. Let's do our lunch swap. What do you got in your big fancy tin there?
Well, for my lunch today, I brought my prerequisite 3-level Mumbai tiffin. And the top tier is a vaquita fin soup. It's like shark fin soup, but it's made with the fin of a vaquita porpoise, the most endangered sea mammal in the world. And in the middle level is a casu pork made with embryonic piglets, which are all aborted pig fetuses from pigs owned as pets and fed a pork-based diet. It's important to give bacon to bacon. I really believe that. Actually,
okay.
I have a confession to make. It's not actually that. They recently did a pork-human hybrid for medical experimentation.
Yeah.
I may have raided the laboratory. Long story short, I wanted to know what human tasted like, and this was my ethical loophole. So color me Alfred Packer. It was wonderful. Delicious.
You beast! You awful, disgusting scum of the earth! Oh. I'm sorry. The ghost of Ryan got into me there.
Yeah, he's highly contagious. And in the bottom tier is a tea-smoked apple and a mustard frog custard. So mustard frog goes well with custard. No apologies.
None needed.
Yeah, and
that looks great. I want some.
No, with all of these innocent creatures that are making their way out of existence, I say, Yol Geo, you only go extinct once. So what did you bring?
Well, let me open up my Kung Fu lunchbox, and today I've got some mac and cheese with those little hot dog slices. Oh, I love those. Aren't those wonderful? And then I've got a Jolt soda, and for dessert I got a cup of lime jello.
Well, I see that Ryan left his greasy used Arby's bag before he ran vomiting from every hole.
Yeah, let me
nothing
open
like ear
that.
vomit. What is it?
It's just the wrapper from an Arby's sandwich.
So maybe that's what made him sick. There's your mistake. He ate at Arby's.
Yeah, or ate somebody's leftovers from Arby's. I'm not sure Ryan can really afford Arby's based on what he normally brings in.
So, that is our lunch. And what else we got going on?
Well, we now get to move into our milk episode of Junkmouth. And Junkmouth, as you know, Greg, is just the second podcast recording here in the Roof Lizard Lounge, joining the Mystery Science Theater 3000 Revival League to form the Dino Hotel Entertainment Network of America.
Or Dina.
Yeah. If masticating on this show makes anyone in our audience want to spit something back at us for a future audience regurgitation segment, and believe me, I've heard one of these episodes now, I really expect people want to spit something back at us. Let me give them some information on how to contact us. first and foremost, send us an email, junkmouthpodcast@gmail.com, or go over to Facebook at facebook.com/junkmouth. And Greg, do you want to tell us about the new show coming up since Ryan's not here to do it?
Yeah, midsummer we're going to be launching a show called Geeky Drink, where we mix original cocktails based around different fan communities. So pleasurable libations made for, say, Guardians of the Galaxy, or maybe a show like something else that's slipping my mind.
I think you just want to have a damn drink, you lush.
Face the Nation. That's what I was going for. Go after the geek community of Face the Nation.
How about Punky Brewster?
Punky Brewster, let's not be savages here.
Okay. Well, could do Wonder Years. Fred Savage. Be savages.
No.
Be fun.
No.
No?
No.
Huh. I was really hoping for a Winnie Cooper drink, but okay. Let's go ahead and sing for our supper before we get into our food. So we have a sweet Kevin Murphy jingle that we're going to load up on the reel-to-reel.
Roll the tape.
The next time you travel to Denver, make your journey into one that you'll remember. Don't just sit around and wish when you can have an expedition at the Dino Hotel. Stretch, snarl, roll.
All right. Thank you, Kevin Murphy and Riff Tracks. Now we've got some food in front of us, but before we dig in, we need to lay out our ground rules. We look for 1, items that are not nationally distributed in the USA. 2, we want foods that are actually unique. We're not just looking for a regional or local brand of something you can get anywhere. 3, we fit our foods each week to a theme. In this case, we're going with milk. Everything we're eating today contains milk. And 4, I got my arm twisted by Greg and Ryan to allow 1 pass card each week if there's something somebody just refuses to try. So we do that. So
Hey, can I jump in real quick and say?
Greg, don't jump in.
I will jump in. Thank you very much. Out of the 60-plus episodes we've recorded of either Revival League podcast, or the 10 or so episodes that we've recorded of Junkmouth, this is the first time Ryan has missed a single podcast.
Really?
Really. I mean, he's not sat in on certain interviews, but he's always sat in on the podcast. So this is a studio first. I can't think of him not being here. It's a little weird to not have him here.
Yeah, I haven't been on nearly as many as you have, but I think that might have been why earlier I kind of had him channeling through me and had to just insult you. He's got such a presence here.
Yeah, I'm pretty used to being in an abusive relationship now, Eric. So just lay it on. Come on. I don't know what to do with myself if I'm not having verbal abuse and sometimes physical abuse piled on me from Ryan.
Greg, we don't want to watch what you're doing to yourself, okay? Just take that somewhere else and wait till we're done recording the podcast.
Fine. So okay, so we're doing milking it this week. So that's an interesting segue. Why don't you tell us what you have concocted today?
Well, first up on our Eat episode, I got this. This is a little pastry that the lady at the little Parisian bakery inside the Asian market.
I like how you have Parisian bakery in quotation marks.
Yeah,
in the show notes.
It's deserved. So I found this bakery. I was actually shopping for a different episode. I was in a Chinese grocery shop, and they have these like little separate stores that are inside the main grocery store that sit outside.
That are sort of themed.
And this was a Parisian bakery themed store. And
there's nothing Parisian about this because, okay, it's a mocha cream bun is what you brought in.
And I'm not sure, she had both matcha and mocha cream buns. And I think I actually got the matcha, but I don't know. So we're going to get one of those two.
Well, the first thing is Parisian bread and pastry is hard and flaky, and this is spongy.
This is specifically super light, and they're in these little sealed packages. I'm sure our audience here is in the opening right now.
Yeah, it
this
comes
is
in
actually. When I looked up the cream breads that these are, they're actually more of a Thai thing, but they have a very heavy French influence. And they're actually, you can buy cream buns now in France, but they were a twist on some of the French baked goods that were developed in Thailand and then brought back to France.
Smelling the inside the wrapper here, first of all, it looks like it's dusted in almonds.
Yes.
It's kind of like a little loaf that would be like a hoagie bun or a hot dog bun, and it's toasted dark brown, so all the almonds have a nice brown color, as does the bread. And
it looks pretty.
When you smell it, it's got a good yeasty baked bread smell.
It smells delicious. I'm looking forward to this one.
So do I bite into it, or should I tear it and then eat whatever falls out of the middle?
I'm just going to take a bite. I'm
going to
do whatever you want.
You bite, I tear. Let's see what happens. Okay. Oh, it looks like it's a Twinkie on the inside.
Yeah, that's the cream. Oh, definitely the mocha. Yeah.
My God, that's good.
Mm-hmm. That is. It's quite tasty.
Okay, so the cream is white. It's flavored in a mocha way.
Yeah.
It's not colored brown like chocolate or coffee.
No.
But this is amazing. This is kind of savory. It's got a mild hint of sweet, but more savory than sweet.
I have to cheat ahead a little bit because we have a segment we planned for later with a cup of milk, but I've got to have a little bit of the milk with this because
me too.
It's definitely that much bread needs something a little to lubricate it up a little.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat. Oh man, that was a nice pairing.
Yes, wonderful.
Even though this is savory, this mocha bun from the Asian market is goddamn good.
I'm all for this. Yeah.
I'm going to set this aside and finish it later because I know we have a ton of milk products coming. And
I think that's a good idea.
Because I could definitely eat all of this because this is
yum. Yeah.
I mean, the fact that it's a savory pastry with cream. I mean, that works quite well.
It does. I'm blown away.
Well, tell me about it. How do they do this?
Well, I'm supposed to know about the food I bring in. What are you talking about? So yeah, no. So this is something similar to what they call a milk bread or a custard bun that had origins in Japan, but they're known as cream pan. But it's a really fluffy white bread dough.
Yeah.
It's rolled out. They roll it out flat, and they put a filling in there with a sweet and eggy custard cream. I definitely taste the creaminess in this one.
I do too.
Wonderful. They shape the buns, proof them, brush them with egg wash, and bake them until golden brown. They do not put any streusel topping on it, though they often, as in the case with the ones we have, decorate them with sliced almonds. And let me tell you, the sliced almonds, I think, add a huge amount to this. I think without them, that nuttiness that comes in there, I think it would really just feel like a decent thing. But those almonds put it over the top.
This was a new food experience that was pleasant and amazing. I've never had anything quite like this. I'm a huge fan now. It's got kind of a coffee flavor. It's got a non-sweet cream. It's got the almonds. It's got sort of a wonderful yeasty, eggy bread surrounding it that's very light. And I thought this was going to be garbage because it looked like a heavy, oily pastry when you brought it in. But no, I am pleasantly surprised. 5 greasy wrappers.
I'm right with you. This is the second thing we've done as all 5s. It's only 2 of us, so I'm sure Ryan would have something negative to say about it. But
he's Ryan. What do you expect?
Yeah, but no, this absolutely good. So if you find a cream pan or a custard bun from an Asian place, absolutely, definitely worth trying. Particularly, if you got one with the almonds on top, definitely go that route because I really adds a huge amount to it. All right. Well, any other thoughts on that?
I feel that the podcast is sadly devoid of Ryan, so let me just say, podcast puppy, kitten, hobo, tears, dead orphans.
And Satan's come.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
Got a little Ryan in the podcast.
Yeah, all right. Now, since we don't have Ryan here, I think we can happily move on to accentuate the positive.
Yeah, there's nothing stopping us today.
Nothing. And today, I'm going to talk about one of those great things, one of those great joys in life, make you happy to be alive. And today, it's one of our historic heroes, Pheidippides.
Say what it is?
Pheidippides, the Greek hero, the guy who led to the modern marathon. His story that led us to that we use as the story for the modern marathon that's often really poorly understood and told incorrectly nowadays.
Now, you're a marathon runner, aren't you? In spite of all the shit we're eating, you're actually in reasonably decent shape, and you're a trail runner and a marathon runner.
I've run marathons. I go out and run trails, yes. I've been through some injury and illness stuff more recently, and I don't think I'm in marathon shape today, but I'm still running and definitely have completed a couple marathons, which is one of the reasons why I think Pheidippides is absolutely great. I know not everybody's going to go out and run a marathon, but I do think running is something people it definitely gets a bad rap, mostly because of the people being forced to run in awful conditions and with somebody yelling at them the whole time when they're in grade school, and they do the president's mile, and they do it in a way that usually is very torturous and demanding, or they use running as punishment. If you don't make that catch in practice, then you got to go run a lap. It gives running kind of a bad rap, but when you do it at your pace where you're comfortable and just have fun with it, I think it's a really good thing. But
so
we're going to
tell us about this Pheidippides character.
Yeah, so the story of Pheidippides, he takes place during the Greek-Persian War. And the great Persian Empire was seeking to further expand by taking over the allied city-states of the Greeks. This was around 490 BC, plus or minus a couple years, depending on who you believe. But the Persians took a large force, landed on the plains of Marathon in eastern Greece, which was a place where they were going to march up from there to Athens to attack. And the Athenians were outnumbered at this time. And so they sent Pheidippides, who was a professional runner in the army, and that's a whole unique thing. Armies that actually had professional runners for communication at the time. And Pheidippides was the guy. He was the guy who, when you needed somebody to run a really long way, this was the guy you called out. And they sent him to Sparta to seek aid. And Pheidippides ran through, this was a really mountainous course, and about 140 miles to go to Sparta. Which he ran in about 36 hours. And I will say, based off of our current knowledge of people running ultramarathons, this is not insane. This is actually very doable for somebody who's really fit and is used to running these super long distances. So, I know a lot of people will question, can somebody really run that long, that hard? Well, at least going from Athens to Sparta, absolutely. And Sparta agreed to help when he got there, but they could not take the field until the full moon came because of their religious laws in Sparta. So there was going to be a bit of a delay. So it kind of told the Athenians they needed to try to hold fort for a while, and Pheidippides needed to get back and let them know. So he ran the other 140 miles back.
Oh, you got to be kidding me.
With the news. Nope. So he's running 280 miles now.
I would have just assumed at that point he just dropped dead.
Nope. He was still going strong because the Persian ship, the Persians still went in, and attacked. And as Pheidippides came in right about the time the battle was getting ready to start, he joined in.
You're kidding me.
So now Pheidippides has run 280 miles, and now he's fighting in a war. That I assume he was mostly running around distracting people, trying not to get too into the middle of it. But what happened was despite being outnumbered, the Athenians were actually had better tactics and were actually driving the Persians back, and they went back into their ships. The expectation would be that from the Athenians was that they were going to go back to Persia, but they didn't. They instead started sailing up the river toward Athens.
Oh, so it's a tactical retreat or a
Yes.
strategic retreat.
Yes,
Okay.
it was. So Pheidippides now went and took a letter to the Athenians from his general to tell them what was going on so that they could protect themselves, because the Persian army was now down. They were low. They could only defeat Athens if they weren't ready for him. So they sent Pheidippides with the letter saying, hey, you're about to get attacked and you need to defend yourself. And so he ran then the roughly 25 miles from the plains of Marathon to Athens. And at this point, when he got there, after running 280 miles, fighting in a battle, and then running the 25 miles to Athens, at this point, he gets to the king of Athens, hands over the letter, and drops dead.
I got to say this has all the feelings of a legend that's been stripped down. I mean, if you look at something like Paul Revere, similar thing. He wasn't the only writer out that night, but it's so much more romantic to imagine that it all boiled down to one guy. I mean, if my city-state were on the line, I would send multiple runners and not the exhausted guy. I mean, no matter what his pedigree or resume was, I would be sending multiple people to Sparta, multiple people to Athens, just as an insurance policy. Because, I mean, what if he died along the route? What if he got attacked by a wild boar or wolf or something, or highway robbers?
And I would think there would be multiple runners. And you know what? You very well may be right, because we don't have the full original records. We have copies of copies of copies that don't all agree with each other. And honestly, what I'm telling here is kind of the most generally agreed upon story. There are twists and versions of it that definitely change.
But it's the stuff of legend.
But it is the stuff of legend, absolutely.
I mean, did they? I mean, I would assume they would do a relay as well and have people, like the Pony Express, stationed at regular intervals for these, life or death situations.
Well, and now in this case, in ancient Greece, they had these city-states, and a lot of times, once you got away from the city, the amount of government control and things over the roads wasn't as good. And so sometimes it wasn't always safe to have just a couple people sitting out on the roads. You get the highway robbers and, what they referred to as barbarians and,
All the more reason to have multiple runners in case, the first guy doesn't make it back.
That's probably very true. And we don't really know how much of that would have went on. But with the legend, Pheidippides did all this running, and it was all on him.
Yeah.
And now what you may have noticed if you're a marathon runner is the current marathon's 26.2 miles. I never mentioned a distance that was about there. The closest we had was the 25 miles from the Plains of Marathon to Athens. And honestly, the first marathons were approximately 25 miles. But at that point, the standards weren't real well defined. When they first brought back the modern Olympic Games, they used a 40,000 meter distance, which is actually just under 25 miles. But that all changed in 1908. That was the first Olympic Games held in London.
Okay.
And that was where they decided to change the distance to 26 miles so that they could have the race cover the grounds from Windsor Castle to the White City Stadium where the London Olympics were held. But then King Edward VII wanted to watch the race finish right in front of his royal box. Privileged king. Well, in order to get to his box, they had to add on another 385 yards, which is approximately 0.2 of a mile. That's where we got to the 26.2 miles. After that, there were 16 years where things were kind of all over the place. But finally, when we got to the 1924 Olympics in Paris, everybody finally agreed they were going to set the official Olympic distance at the 26.2 miles we know today, and it's stayed there ever since.
Well, I can see why Edward would want it to go by all the royal box. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't fault him there. I mean, the British Empire is still chuffing along pretty solidly. This is pre-World War I, and, before it all went to shite in the two world wars. So, if you're going to take the empire that Victoria built and have Edward sit in the box, by God, they can run the extra, little distance to pass him up. I mean, it's a prerogative of power and a show of might to the rest of the world, because, Edward would have been the living embodiment of the British Empire.
Absolutely. I don't really blame him for that. And honestly, if for anybody who has been out and run a marathon, the difference between 26 and 26.2 miles is typically at that point it's that's not a big deal. The 385 yards, if you can run 26 miles, you can run 26.2. And
no, that's a cool story. No, thanks for sharing.
Yeah.
Don't we normally go to Ryan's reality check now?
We do, but
what are we going to do with... Oh, wait.
We'll do it!
We'll do it!
Yeah!
I'll be Ryan.
Oh, I want to be Ryan.
No, I want to be Ryan.
We'll do it together.
Let's both be Ryan.
Yeah, let's talk about Russian mail order brides.
Oh, hey, whoa, we're not going to talk about that, Ryan.
Yeah.
All right, science, motherfuckers. Empirical reasoning. We're going to go with only what is able to be deduced, and it is not able to be measured in a quantifiable way. Then we're not going to talk about it because I am stuffy and I wear a Superman shirt and I have long greasy hair.
Wait a minute, Superman can't be quantified. What's wrong with you, Ryan?
I don't think he's real. I'm not a fantasist. I just think it's a cool story, and I celebrate the mythology of it. Get a grip of yourself, Erik. We're not children here.
All right, so what are you talking about this week?
Well, this week we're going to talk about people who post online in all caps. Listen, these Twitter-pated idiots are out there not discoursing in basic civility. They are unable to display what it takes to show what I can't do this.
Yeah, well, and I'll take over because these fuckers don't know what they're doing. They think that they can just yell at everybody. You know what? You don't get to yell at everybody. Be fucking civil, all right?
Our society is based upon certain rules, and when we start breaking them and we start engaging in nastiness, then that's where we end up in trouble. Look, I am perfectly happy being nasty on Facebook. I'm perfectly happy being nasty in life when it warrants it. But all caps is a seasoning that is best used lightly, if at all. The people who engage in this are usually clueless dunderheads and idiots who don't know shit from shinola and can't find their ass from their elbow. So I'm really thinking that all caps is a bad idea because it shows a base ignorance that is found only in the worst level of humanity. Fuck those guys. Ryan out.
Yeah, and something about MacGyver can do no wrong.
Yeah. And shut up, Greg.
Yeah. All right.
That was actually surprisingly easy.
Yeah, it wasn't as hard as I was expecting. Oh. Well, Ryan,
you realize he's going to murder us both when he hears this.
Yeah, and he edits, so he will definitely hear this.
Oh boy, we are so in for it.
Yeah, let's console ourselves with a drink.
Okay, so this is the drink part of milk.
Yes.
What could it be other than milk?
Well, how about a milk soda?
What?
I have a milk soda. Here, have a can.
Okay, I've had egg creams before.
Yeah.
Those aren't bad. That's
so,
an egg cream is milk and you bet chocolate syrup and soda water. So what's this?
This is a soda called Calpico. It is a fermented milk soda.
Wait, fermented?
Yeah, with lactic acid bacteria. It's the same bacteria that makes things like sauerkraut and kimchi. And here we call it Calpico because that's how they market it to English-speaking countries. But originally it's called Calpis, which
sounds like cow piss.
Yeah, which is exactly the reason they changed it to Calpico for English-speaking countries because nobody wants to drink cow piss.
Why do I get the feeling this is not going to be far off, though?
I don't know. We'll find out. But I will say, now, when you go to buy this, they actually have several different forms that you can buy this in. And they have a concentrate form. There's a diluted, they call it Calpico water. And then there's the Calpico soda, where it's got carbonation added to it. So you can buy this in several different things. There's versions that have fruit added to it. And then there's quite frequently, if you buy the concentrate version, it gets used as either a dessert topping or a meat tenderizer in a lot of Asian dishes.
Well, I've heard of Coca-Cola ham, so to me that's not that weird.
Yeah.
Or Sprite cake. So, I mean, so maybe the Japanese have more akin with the American South than I realized. But
maybe.
So, I mean, when I look at this can, and it is a can, it's in varying shades of blue to light blue. It's got little light blue soda bubbles all over.
Oh, don't forget the medium blue pieces.
The medium blue pieces. It's also got what looks like a little hurricane symbol with Calpico soda written on it with some kanji that I cannot try, which probably says this is going to taste sour and horrible. Although it says delightfully satisfying.
Original flavor.
So we get to try the original. Well, let's open this up and see what fermented milk soda is like. Yeah. This may be one of the worst, most bizarre things anyone has ever brought in. What does it smell like?
It smells very sweet and
it doesn't
carbonated.
Okay, I was expecting spoiled milk.
No, it's got kind of a
citrus. Yeah. It smells like Sprite.
Yeah,
Sprite or lemon drops.
And it's not the same kind of bacteria that are going to make the milk go bad. It's more like that sauerkrauty citrus, And I think you get a bit of that, but it's more citrusy than that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, all right, down the hatch. Let's see what happens.
That's not bad. I'm surprised.
I don't get milk out of this at all. It tastes like grapefruit juice.
Yeah, it's got a real citrusy. It's somewhere between a grapefruit and a lemon.
This is actually quite refreshing.
Yeah,
it looks
really
like
good.
Kind of coconut milk in the can. It's definitely milky white, but it has all the flavor of a strong, like ruby red grapefruit. And not bad. I mean, it's got, if you put sugar on top of a grapefruit, that's what this tastes like, carbonated grapefruit.
Yeah, there's a little bit of it's almost like a grapefruit soda mixed with Sprite. It's kind of how I'd put it, because I definitely get some Sprite flavor.
Like what I call a kiddo mimosa, one with no actual alcohol content, but you put a ginger ale in with the citrus juice.
Right.
I
mean, no, I'll be honest. I bought this, and I was expecting I was going to be like just weird and somewhere between so-so to gross, and just picking on you with it, but. This is good.
Yeah, you didn't troll me. You gave me a mouth medley. I'm very happy here, man. This is delicious. Now, if this were poured into a glass, and I would just assume it tasted like Sprite and orange juice or Sprite and grapefruit juice. I wouldn't know any better.
Not orange. It's definitely more the grapefruit lemon range.
Yeah. It's more higher acid content than an orange juice. Yeah. But I'm impressed. It's very refreshing. I would drink this again, not now because we're having so many other things on the show. But if you offered one of these to me on a hot day, I'd finish it.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. And the Chinese grocery where I found this, I will definitely be back there. And you know what? Even if I don't pick up more of this for the show, I might just pick some of this up for me. This is good.
Calpico soda. Who knew?
Yeah, I didn't until right now.
No, that's a good reveal. I'm very pleased. What would you rate this?
I'm kind of torn. It's right around that 4.5, 5. I'll go with like a 4.8. It's not like quite as heavenly as the 5 things we've had, but it's damn close.
Yeah, I'm not gonna mince. I'm gonna give it a 5. I'm not gonna fine tune this. I mean, just like the cream roll. I was expecting going into it to have a clash of cultures and have it be something weird and gross and Asian. Cuisine-wise, it doesn't mix with my Western palate. And instead, this is a standalone. It doesn't even have to be a mixer. It would be amazing with any amounts of alcohol in it, but you can drink this just as it is. So 5 greasy wrappers from Greg.
4.5 from Erik. It's really up there. Almost perfect.
Yeah. No, and the fact, okay, the fact that you had this good and iced down is definitely influencing me because it is cold. It is refreshing. It is perfect temperature.
I would point out I actually got smart this week when I knew I was coming in. Driving up from my house where I had these. So I took and I filled a cooler with ice and put all the drinks in there to keep them nice and ice cold instead of just having them somewhat cold from sitting in an ice bucket for 20 minutes. Yeah. And
perfect temperature.
Absolutely wonderful.
Your planning ahead paid off big dividends because this soda, even slightly warm, would have dropped a couple of points, but it is almost to the point of having ice crystals in it, and that with the refreshingness of the grapefruit, carbonated grapefruit, is good. So, I'm a fan.
Big time. So I think now, Greg, isn't it time for you to tell us a story?
Yes, it's my Tales of the Stupid. And you can't get much stupider than casu marzu. This is
what?
Casu marzu. This is the Sardinian jumping cheese.
Why the hell would you want a cheese to jump, Greg? What the hell is wrong with you?
Oh, are you doing Ryan again? Okay.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, you're channeling a little bit of Ryan. Okay. So what makes it jump? Well, that would be the maggots coursing through the rotten cheese. This is something they have in Sardinia or Corsica. It's like a pecorino, and I actually have a picture pulled up here. It's a wheel of cheese that is so fermented and sunk in on itself and full of maggots, it looks like a sourdough bread bowl. No, that's just the cheese has collapsed into a soft mass of unguent juices full of little writhing maggots. And
wow.
And this cheese has such an ammonia flavor that it actually burns your tongue a bit. And it's known, if you eat it, to leave an aftertaste for several hours. I mean, it is that pungent. And you actually eat the maggots live. This cheese is so fucking dangerous for listeria and other food poisonings that it's not necessarily the maggots, it's all the stuff that can get into there, all the bacteria that can, kill you, that it is banned by the EU, even though it's a regional delight.
I'm glad it's banned.
It is decomposing cheese, and it has a cheese fly in it that lays its eggs, and the larvae swarm around in it. And the real aficionados who scoop out the runny innards, put it on a piece of European bread, and then they hold their hand over the top of it while they crunch into the maggots and the rotting cheese, because the defense mechanism of this particular larva is to jump. Thus, the jumping cheese. That's why you have to hold your hand over the runny cheese while you bite into it so the maggots don't fly up and pop you in the face, because they're trying to jump off, they're trying to jump ship and not go down with a sinking ship of the cheese while you eat it, you monster.
All right, Greg, if you did not actually have the article about this cheese pulled up, I would think you were just absolutely full of shit right now.
No.
That is unbelievable.
And I mean, just to let you know how many maggots are in that, the female fly can lay of this particular species of cheese fly can lay up to 500 eggs at a time. So the eggs hatch and the larvae eat through the cheese, and the acid from the maggot's digestive system breaks down the cheese's fats, making the cheese soft and runny. And that's when you eat it, and that's when you eat it with all of the thousands and thousands of Sardinian maggots just riddling and writhing through the rotten cheese. Have I painted enough of a picture for you?
Absolutely. I really wish we weren't doing a food podcast right now because I've kind of lost my appetite.
I know. And it's sad because you actually brought in decent foods that you were kind of hoping to troll and be gross, but they actually were delightful. Yeah. And then here I come along with my tales of something that is actually quite stupid for once.
Yes.
And just fuck it all up. Just.
What the hell is wrong with you, Greg? You're making us disgusted on a food show. Get yourself together.
This is an entirely visual medium.
Ryan's going to kill us.
Ryan is going to kill us. But the people eat variations of this in Italy and Corsica and France, and all I can say is fuck them. I mean,
Wow. Yeah.
I've had some really runny, pungent German cheeses. There's one called Käse mit Musik, which is cheese with music, because it's so runny and fermented it makes you fart afterwards because it just plays old Harry with your digestive tract. So you eat the cheese and then you provide the music. But I don't know. This is so outside of my culinary norms. I don't think I could eat. I know some cultures can. I don't think I could eat live insects.
Not, some insects maybe. I like, if it was like a grasshopper or a cricket or
cooked,
something.
fried.
Even a live one I could probably manage.
No.
But a maggot, that just seems particularly gross to me. It might be my Western bias, but no, absolutely not.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think I could eat this stuff live. I could eat a bug. I could not eat a live bug.
Yeah.
So, casu marzu, delicious. You want to move on to...
Thankfully, we can't get it here and find out. Yeah, let's move on to Be Merry. I'm going to say we have a couple of different things for our Be Merry, but I want to start out with the one that is smaller and not going to
turn
probably
our
hit our
stomachs.
stomachs by putting a lot in them.
Yeah.
At least to
Especially
give
after
ourselves
that-
a couple minutes after
after that
your
story,
segment.
yeah.
So we got some little hard candies that we're going to start off with. These are center-filled mocha coffee candy called espresso.
And where are these from?
They're from Indonesia.
Indonesia.
Yeah.
I've had some.
I think it's Kadingan.
I've had
Oh man, I can't even pronounce it.
I've
sorry.
had Kopiko before, but I think those are Thai, but they're little coffee cream-filled candies too.
Yeah,
and
I see you got yours
they're
out of the
amazing.
wrapper already.
Yeah.
Let me try to catch up.
They're tiny. Looks like a shirt button. It's chocolate in color. It's got a little round
Not
ring
having
on the
a-
top.
As I fight to open mine.
Yeah, he can't even get his open. Smells like
There
a
we go.
Tootsie Roll.
Oh, it is totally Tootsie Roll.
Tootsie Roll.
Well, Tootsie Roll with a hint of coffee in there.
Yeah, a coffee
But only
Tootsie
a
Roll.
hint, not
like
much.
if you put a Tootsie Roll in your coffee.
And then took it out, and just like those couple little drops that cling to it, that's how much coffee seems to be with it.
All right. Well, I mean, do
Let's-
you suck on it or you chew it?
I'm not much of a chewer. I think it's kind of that personal choice thing, kind of like when we did the lemon drops.
All right. So let's try this out. See what happens.
Yeah,
I'm gonna try to crunch up. It's hard.
it's not bad.
It's not chewy. It's hard.
The coffee comes out a lot more
Oh wow!
in the mouth than when it was.
It really tastes like an espresso, or like an espresso that's had a little
All
cream
right,
added
with
to
the
it.
center fill, I'm going to bite.
I haven't,
Yeah, there's
I haven't been
definitely
able to bite through this, but
Really? Mine
No.
went real easy.
not mine.
Oh,
Oh, but it's good.
yeah.
I like it.
It's a good mocha candy. I've had a couple other mocha type coffee candies. It's right in line with everything else I've had. Can't put it real high one way or the other. So.
It's a hard candy. I mean, there's nothing to really badmouth about it. It's just simply good, and I like it. I don't really eat hard candy because I view it as empty calories. Just like I don't really drink soda off of the podcasts because that's just a lot of empty calories and a lot of sugar.
Yeah, if I want my empty calories, I drink a beer.
But I don't run like you, so I'm a fat sack of crap, and so I don't have the luxury of going out there and going really nuts with sweets. If I was gonna go nuts with a sweet, I would get like a flourless chocolate torte. I would get a fudgy hot pastry of some kind. That's what appeals to me. Hard candy to me is like wasted calories. But this is good. I'm not knocking it. I just wouldn't seek it out. But that's personal preference. That is not anything disparaging about what is a solid, delicious, creamy little chocolate hard candy.
Yeah. What would you rate it, Greg?
I'd give it a 4. I'd give it a 4 on the greasy wrapper scale. There's nothing offensive about it. It's good, and I'd have one again.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with 4.5. I thought they did I think these are really nice, good espresso candies. I do occasionally like a hard candy. Sometimes just especially I'll probably take the rest of these to work and set them at my desk. 'Cause sometimes when you're just feeling that lethargy at work, you want just a few calories, just enough to kind of wake you up, but you don't want a lot, and something convenient. And that's actually the point in time where I think something like this is really nice and convenient. And, compared to like coffee you typically have at the workplace, this is definitely going to have a much better flavor. So I'm going 4.5.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah.
I can see that.
All right.
So, I brought in something.
You did. I'm excited for these.
Now, I took the milk premise and said, not all desserts are necessarily made with milk. There are many things that are meant to be enjoyed with milk. It is like probably the first food pairing that a kid ever does, where they take a beverage and they have it with something, food, wise, like a chocolate chip cookie and a glass of milk, a gingerbread cookie and a glass of milk. Well, there happens to be, only in Denver, Colorado, a beautiful cinnamon roll shop called Duffy Rolls. They were established in 1986, and in my opinion, after much sampling, this is the best cinnamon roll in Colorado. Now, yes, I know everyone knows about Johnson's Corner up near, Fort Collins, or near the Wyoming border.
I've been there. I've had their cinnamon rolls, and they're good.
I got to be honest, they're okay. I've actually had better cinnamon rolls.
I have too. I said they're good. I didn't say they were great.
No, I think it's their thing, and if you ever are on I-25 headed north or south, near Wyoming, people stop at this big glorified tourist trap called Johnson's Corner, and they give you a hubcap size cinnamon roll that's ooey gooey and hot, and you eat it with other diner food. It's not bad, but it's not the best. I'm sorry. Duffy Rolls is the best. And they have regular size cinnamon rolls, and by regular, I mean softball size, not hubcap size.
Yeah.
Because, saying a regular size cinnamon roll is a very relative thing.
It is.
This is one of their 12 packs. And this 12 pack, I don't think we have to sample them all because, I know we're full. But this is a 12-pack of 2 each of 6 different assorted flavors. And these are miniatures. These are about the size of a hockey puck. And they have a Bailey's Irish Cream. And
is that the green one?
Yeah, it's the green one.
Oh, okay.
Or
I want one of those.
It's got green ice. It's got white icing with green sprinkles on it. Yeah. It's not really a green donut or a green cinnamon roll. They have the plain. They have an orange one, and they're all good. I think just, for the sake of each, we're going to have this with the milk, and we're going to take a bite of just one bite of each. Now, I already had one of the regular Duffy Rolls for breakfast, so just take a bite of the standard plain.
This is the standard right here?
That's the standard plain.
All right.
Tell me what you think, and the milk is there.
I'm looking at this. This is a really flaky cinnamon roll, clearly.
Like a phyllo dough or a French croissant.
Real typical, cinnamony scent. So I'm going to go ahead and take a bite.
Cinnamon sugar. Mm-hmm. What do you think?
Oh, that flaky texture is just delightful.
I love a good hot cinnamon roll, and usually the bread the dough is heavier. What Duffy Rolls does differently is they go with more of a European flaky pastry, which takes these flavors to a whole new level.
I'll say the cinnamon is kept really light in this one.
Yes,
but in most cinnamon rolls, I'd consider that a definite negative. But the flaky, biscuity, actual roll is so good here. I think that's actually a good thing in this case, so it doesn't overpower it. It blends and complements nicely. This is absolutely an amazing and very different cinnamon roll. I'm on board, Greg.
Yeah, and I try the pecan one next because I have to confess, there's only one of those because I may have cracked into the box early. So I know what they taste like, so you try that one.
My goodness, you're going to
I'm going to
You're going to
spoil
make
you.
me huge. Yeah. All right. Well, all right.
Yeah, no, it's good. It's good. And I mean, that one has got it's sort of a brown sugar caramel with little pecan chunklets on it. It's the same basic shape, and they just change the toppings and all of that. I'll do the next one because Erik, he's welcome to participate if you want. But this is the orange one. This has an orange flavor to it, orange peel.
These are so good, I'm tempted, but I'm going to back off. I will say the original was a little better than the pecan version. And it might just be me not liking that it's just sugary sweet. There's nothing, I like something that has a little spice or savoriness to it, and I'm not really getting much there. The nut flavor is actually kind of weak. It's more caramel than this one. So.
Now, I just took a bite of the orange, and what I like about it is to me, it's the most unusual out of their standard box of 6, where they give you 2 each, in your dozen. There's the 6 main flavors because orange works really well with a cinnamon roll. I mean, people don't normally think to go the orange peel route.
I've had several orange-flavored cinnamon rolls. They're one of my favorite flavors.
Yeah, it works. It really works. And they did just a very light orange-flavored icing on the top that complements the sugary flakiness of the Duffy roll. And, they just celebrated their 30th anniversary, so they're going to be 31 this year. Duffy rolls, it's a gem in Denver, and it's amazing. Even though they have 5 or 6 locations around town here, around the Mile High City, a lot of people have never heard of them.
I had not heard of them until now, so I'm definitely I'm going to find out where these are and see if there's one close to me.
Yeah, and just like any cinnamon roll, it doesn't just have to be had with a nice tall frothy glass of milk.
Cup of coffee.
Cup of coffee. Oh hell yeah! But there's one more that you do have to try. I mean,
the Bailey's.
The Bailey's Irish Cream out of this assortment of
Okay, yeah,
flavors.
I knew I needed to try that one from the moment you said it, so I'm grabbing for that one. Yeah, it's got just lovely white icing with little green sprinkles, but yeah, and you smell? No, I really mostly, when I smell it, I just smell the sweetness of the icing, so I'm hoping to get a little more of that Bailey's flavor when I bite in, so here goes.
You just get the crunch. I mean, it sounds like you're eating celery when you bite into that. I don't think the microphone picked that up necessarily, but it just sounds like you're eating ants on a log or something. Just bit right into that crunchy celery.
Oh, there it is. Yeah, the Bailey's flavor is kind of a bit delayed in this. When you take it, at first it's just like a normal cinnamon roll, maybe a little extra sweet because of the icing on top. It doesn't seem like much. Then you start to get that like Irish cream flavor. It's kind of almost an aftertaste on it, and it's you bite in. It's like almost like you feel like, oh, I was hoping for that Bailey's. Where is it? I feel a little disappointed. And then it's like, there it is. Oh, that's good. Yeah. So it's one of those that. It's better like about 3 or 4 seconds after you take your bite than immediately.
Yeah, and the other thing about it is they roll these out these are homemade, handmade in the shop. So it's not like they don't buy it in, they make it fresh right there. I mean, when I went by this morning, they were rolling out a fresh batch. Yeah. It's just like going to a candy store where they make their own fudge or something. These are amazing, and you get just for a few bucks, you get an assortment of cinnamon rolls. So if anybody lives in Denver or you're planning on visiting Denver, by all means, add Duffy rolls to your breakfast itinerary one morning, or hell, have them for lunch.
Anytime, yeah.
Anytime. No, they're
Dessert.
They're really just that damn good.
I do notice there's 2 flavors that haven't been tried in here, Greg. I know we've both been pretty full and been eating a lot, but why don't you tell me what those 2 are, and we'll each take one on just to give the full view of these.
I don't know. I honestly don't know what the other 2 are. I think one's like
one's got walnuts on it.
One's got walnuts.
The other one just looks. I bet it's like caramel apple is my guess.
It looks like a caramel apple. I'll take a bite of the caramel apple.
Okay, I'll take a bite of this walnut.
That's just a delicious Caramel flavor. It is what it looks like as advertised.
This one with walnuts, I don't know what it's supposed to be, but the walnut really comes through a lot more than in the pecan one. And I'm all on board with this walnut flavored thing. It just seems like a walnut cinnamon roll, but it's good.
Oh, and I'm washing it down with this nice cold glass of milk. Yeah. Perfect ending to what actually, other than my disgusting maggot jumping cheese story, was actually a really good podcast.
Well, at least good food. I mean, people did have to listen to us.
Yeah, I know, but I mean, this was like a net positive. I mean, no Ryan to louse things up.
We had no stinkers on the food.
No
Everything
stinkers.
was
Everything.
good.
Of course, the one that he gets sick and has to go home on. Everything is perfect.
It is. I can't wait till he listens to it, and it just tortures him to hear what we've eaten all this crap every friggin' episode. We have some kind of just total shit food, and then here Greg and Erik go off and eat just nothing but lovely things without me. I think that'll be hilarious.
I think so. And Ryan, I'm just going to read you the message on the bottom of the Duffy Roll box. Every box of Duffy Roll says, "Erik, send my message to you," which is, "We love you too, buddy."
Oh, that is right. I'm looking at it right there. That is so good.
It says, "We love you too."
I think we need to put a picture of that to send that to Ryan.
I think so. I'm all about that. So, wow. No. Man, none of us played a card.
No, we didn't even think about it. We're doing great. Let's go ahead and let's do a wrap up and review how we thought about everything.
Yeah.
So, you get a chance to try one of these cream breads, whatever they want to call them locally. Absolutely delicious. And get the almonds on there. That flavor was great. If you go in an Asian grocery store and you see some Calpico, definitely grab one of those. They've got all kinds of really crazy, unique drinks at the Asian grocery stores, and this is definitely one you want. I will say that. Espresso candy, if you want a mocha hard candy, they're just as good as anything else. I wouldn't go out of your way for them, but they're definitely good. And I think what maybe the highlight of this is the Duffy Rolls. We didn't rank the Duffy Rolls.
Oh my God!
Whoa!
5.
I'm going to overall go 5.5. I'll actually say that pecan one, I'd probably call that a 4. But overall, Duffy Rolls are a 5 because all of the others are absolutely amazing. The texture of these things is wonderful. So
yeah, they're a bunch of little smiles in a box.
Yeah. And
much like Ryan.
Well, at least he's in a box.
Yeah, I don't think he's doing so hot.
Yeah.
But wow. Thanks for bringing all this stuff in today.
Well, and thank you for bringing in the Duffy Rolls. You took the good foods I brought in and just topped me.
I took that base to 11.
You did. So, any final thoughts, Greg?
Yeah, we got to lose Ryan more often.
Yeah. Well, you know what? How about with that audience regurgitation? People email us, tell us, should we lose Ryan?
I'll write in.
Okay, you do that. Yeah, my final thoughts is I thought the milk episode would be a little bit of a jokey one and not necessarily great food, but wow, I've been blown away.
You thought you were punking us. You totally thought you were punking us.
And it didn't work at all.
No, it backfired in the sense that it was all delightful.
Yeah, it didn't work at all, and I'm glad it didn't work. This has just been wonderful. So thanks to everybody for joining us, listening in. Until next time, eat, drink, and be merry.
Peace out. Bye.